Don't you dare say it, jackpot!
Oh, hello. I'm One Man. Today, we're gonna talk about my thoughts concerning Devil May Cry 5. A more informal review, if you will. Today, I'm not gonna lie, Devil May Cry 5 may be my single favorite game of all time. Normally, DMC 5 is not amongst my top game franchises. But both DMC 3 and 5, my word, are just fantastic. Devil May Cry 5 is made by Capcom. And the whole idea is that it's a character action subgenre. And it's a franchise built primarily upon skill and difficulty. It has everything from scrub level, aka human level, to hell and hell. Now I haven't platinumed the game yet, but I hope to do so eventually. Because my goal with Devil May Cry my goal with Devil May Cry is to platinum all the games and to be considered a legend amongst the Devil May Cry fanbase. The DMC 5 has probably been one of the most satisfying games I've ever played. For a guy who loves difficulty like me, to a guy who loves anime like me, to a guy who likes freaking metal like me, this game just ticks off every little box that I have for playing games and or anime games. There's violence, which I love. There's difficulty, which I love. There's great storytelling, which I absolutely love and often starve for. Because honestly, there's a lot of games I've been playing lately that have left me a little dissatisfied. But man, oh man, did I spend my first couple of gameplays just orgasming for the story and the gameplay. That game has probably the best replay value I've ever seen in a franchise. Basically, your ranks go from D to triple S. But what I really liked about DMC 5, which I was very apprehensive at first, but not really anymore, is that with DMC 5, you actually get a certain amount of portion of the song unlocked per your rank, which is flat out awesome. And I'm still trying to get triple S with Dante, just so I can scream, "You cannot kill me! I am Omega!" And man, oh man, do I love that song. I like the original song too, but y'all are too focused on not being considered cringy in public. You guys have to get hung up on some of the weirdest things. And I'm not gonna lie, I really fucking love Devil May Cry 5, and it may be my favorite game of all time. Not only does it have the most polished form of mechanics, it also has top tier graphics, and it has probably the best storytelling. It's not as conducive to the mechanics as Devil May Cry 3, but overall it's probably a better story. Plus, the way they handled Nero, V, Dante, and Virgil, well, they handled it just well, and this is where spoilers come in. There is always, now that I think about it, I should always do a spoiler warning for everything. So, anywho, back to what I was saying. DMC 5 has to be my favorite game of all time. Possibly. And the reason, and I'm surprised I'm saying this considering Legend of Dragoon is my favorite game of all time. It's pretty impressive if you think about it. Because Legend of Dragoon has an incredible story, incredible characters, and a phenomenal soundtrack. But just everything Except for maybe the final boss music with Nero, which I hate that poppy shit. Because it's a bunch of pussy shit. But man, oh man, I fucking love this game. Plus, it has my favorite Virgil design. Has probably my favorite dialogue in the game. Has the probably the best soundtrack composition, no matter what kind of genre of music you like. It has just about... It's probably the most satisfying game I've ever played, because it fulfills my need for difficulty. My need for great storytelling. It fulfills a lot of needs and checks off a lot of boxes. And for those who ever watched my streams or gameplays for DMC5, knows I get my sadistic, violent tendencies. Just, oh my god, so much orgasming does my inner sadist. I don't think people understand how fucking gratifying it is to have Subhuman playing in the background while I'm just murdering demons. Let me out, screams my inner demon. If you couldn't tell before, I'm listening to Subhuman while I'm doing this review. But my thoughts overall on this game is that it's almost a near perfect game. There's still some flaws. I also discovered there's a flaw with Virgil in the final battle. With Nero, I noticed that there's some discrepancies in certain difficulties, where if you exploit them, you can beat up Virgil for some pretty decent damage. Because if you charge forward when he's just getting up and he's still crouched over, you can actually hit him for a small amount of damage and then repeat a couple times ad nauseum until he goes back into a standard stance. There's a couple issues with the Urizen fight and invincibility frames related to his ability to slow time. But, you know, a lot of the problems I have with this game are just minor nitpicks. Quite honestly, it's one of my most favorite aspects of the game. See, one of my favorite franchises of all time is the Neptunia franchise, but what has been severely lacking since the original is difficulty. There's never really been that satisfying difficulty mastery that I've always wanted to see from Neptunia. Which, to be fair, it's not their alley. I love the fact that it has cute girls, I love the humor, I love the Yuri, but over the years it just hasn't been as satisfying. Especially with terrible Tamsoft games, but I'm gonna get into that when I do a My Thoughts series on the Neptunia franchise. Anywho, Devil May Cry 5 is probably my favorite game of all time. I don't know if there's a game that tops that. I just don't think there is. Not only are the mechanics more expanded and diverse than ever, anything from V's mastery of control, which I think based Capcom for, because they've heard my hopes, prayers, and dreams that I would have a more control-styled, based fighting style in DMC. It's like all of the control freaks who wanted a little bit more finesse and control in their gameplay that doesn't rely on a high-speed adaptation. It's like a lot of those my fellow megalomaniacs have had their voices heard. Which, that's nice and well, and it really translates well into the game. People complain it's a little too easy, but in my opinion that's more Nero, that's a little too easy. But here's the thing. While I like the fact that I have my control freaks sated, I also like the fact that I love my violent, intense sadist sated and enjoyed and satisfied. And that's because of Dante. Playing as Dante. I've still yet to master Dr. Faust, but by the time I do, I'll probably have just ripped through all the modes. So, we'll find out. It's gonna be pretty easy to get a couple of trophies in Heaven or Hell mode. But, you know, Here we're just gonna finish off by going into the ratings. And I'm gonna give this game 9.75 out of 10 out of 10. No, 12 out of 10. There's a lot of things it has going for it because it blew my mind. It went up above and beyond my expectations. I rarely give anything past my Meltzer score of 10s. But there's just no compare. I want to give my imaginary hat goes off to Capcom. Thank you for an amazing game and an amazing experience. It was the one game that surpassed DMC3 in every possible way. It took all the things they did right with DMC4, took everything they did right with DMC3, combined the two, and then, you know, updated the graphics to look almost futuristic and modernized. Plus, I love the EX tier costumes too, so I had fun, an immense amount of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'm bringing back YouTube. Follow me as well on Mixer at Bloody Renaissance, Periscope at Cotting Ridge, one of my many weird personas that I come up with, and follow me on Twitch at OneManCast as well. I am One Man, you've been my followers, those were my thoughts. I'll see you next time.